What is up, everybody? Welcome back. Episode 23 of the Texans franchise. Today, guys, we are in the trade deadline week, which means we are going to be doing some trades and get ourselves maybe some more draft picks, maybe a player. I don't know yet, but I do know is this is the final week that we can get this done. Before we get into that, though, let's take a quick recap of last episode. So last episode was a huge game for us. We ended up beating the Bills 37-14. It was a crazy game. Our offense, I think our offense stayed pretty consistent, mostly with Gilbert running the ball a little bit. But where we really shined was on defense. We forced so many turnovers. As you can see down below, 5 turnovers. We didn't turn the ball over once. Huge thing for us in that game. And it just led to this landslide, I think, for Buffalo. And really all the points that we scored were from all the momentum we built up from forcing these fumbles, from getting these interceptions. And it turned out to be a great game for us. Dylan Gilbert, while he wasn't the most productive, he was efficient with what he did. 184 yards, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. He only took 1 sack, which was a big help. 19-27, 70% on his passes. Excellent day for Dylan Gilbert. You can see Josh Allen, 3 interceptions, no touchdowns, but he was throwing the ball. They were moving the ball well. It was just our defense seemed to just clamp up at the right times. Every time they would get close to the end zone and either cause an interception, force a fumble, or at least force a field goal at the very least. And it wasn't that many times that they even had a chance to put up points because of how our defense played. Rushing, again, Dylan Gilbert led the way, 1 yard shy of another 100-yard performance on the ground. Dameon Pierce came in and had such a good day compared to that of Sweet. Sweet had a bulk of the carries, 21 as you can see, only 53 yards. He did have a touchdown, but Pierce running it out of that shotgun formation really found a lot of lanes. The blocking was well, and he racked up a 6-yard average. I don't want to change how the carries are divvied up right now, because what we have is working. I just wish maybe we would call a few more plays to get Pierce more carries. So maybe some way through the game, if I notice that Sweet is just not doing it again, I'll opt out to sub Pierce into the regular starting running back role, which is why Sweet is getting all of those extra carries. And then we'll just see how it goes, because I don't really know which one of these guys we can count on to be the #1 de facto running back for us yet, because we keep having these weeks where one week Pierce is big, the next week Sweet is, the next week it's Pierce again, the next week it's nobody. It's just been a really weird situation with the running game that we're still trying to work out. So I don't want to jump the gun and just commit to one of the guys. So we'll keep playing around with it and seeing what ends up coming away from this next game. And then the receiving. This Chris Gills guy is going to be special, guys. 6 catches, 71 yards. You can see the speed he's got when we were playing them. At any point, he could have just broke one free. Luckily, he didn't, like he did in the preseason against us. But our receivers held their own. Darius Slayton, 5 for 66. Alex Poe, 5 for 50. But again, this wasn't really a day where we threw the ball a heck of a lot. You can see a lot of 1 catches here, and then more of the dump down variety, 3 for 11, 2 for 11. So I really need to see a game where we just flat out throw the ball and see what Gilbert can do. Again, the Bills was a very tough matchup. They have a good defense. They have a great offense. So it wasn't too much surprising to see that we struggled in the passing game and the run game, really. On defense, though, we were playing lights out. Jonathan Grenard had 3 sacks. Fletcher Cox had 1. And that was it for us. It was just those 4 sacks, but our pressure up front was amazing. It led to a lot of turnovers, 3 interceptions, 2 for Petrie, 1 for Greedy Williams, and then of course the fumbles we had, 1 from Fletcher Cox and 1 from Kelvin Joseph. Just a great day all around. Wish we'd have saw more out of the offense, but that defense stepped up in a big way, really put us over the top, and what really gave us the win that we had. We also will be talking about the linebackers today. After last episode, we did the defensive line and the offensive line. So today we'll be digging into the linebackers, and then next video we'll be doing strictly the secondary. I'm just going to do the whole secondary. But yeah, so we're getting close to the end where we've already done a full initial sweep of the prospect pool, and now we can go back and we can start picking certain position groups to focus on, certain players to focus on, and obviously the stories will start to roll in a little bit more. I haven't seen any really pop up lately. No, all the same ones yet. Oh, here's a couple of new ones. Ezra Grant only started playing football as a high school senior, but that hasn't stopped the wide receiver from cementing himself as a legit prospect in, I'm assuming, football. It's all coming together for left end Brian McNeil near the end of his season. Huge game that displayed his entire skill set. And then great battle for cornerback Jonathan Hewitt, looked overmatched trying to cover wide receiver Akeem Hargrave. So none of those are ones that we'll be reviewing today. But before we get to the draft, it's time to take care of these trades. It's time to get rid of the players that are up on contract that we just do not plan on bringing back. And I talked about it last video. Two of those guys, Davis Mills and Brandon Cooks. I know Cooks is our top receiver. I know we're 4-2. I know it doesn't make a ton of sense, but we are not going to be bringing him back after this season. It just doesn't make sense. We drafted two top-end receivers in the draft. One of them we know is an X factor. The other one is still hidden dev, but we know has got some type of development at the very least. We've got John Mechie still here, Darius Slayton, who has been stepping up in a big way, Nico Collins, who I think has been one of our more consistent receivers since the start of this series. I just don't see room for Brandon Cooks. So my thoughts are, if I can find a contending team, one that's veteran-led, one that is close to having to sort of rewrite their team makeup and put him there, it just makes sense. You know, Brandon Cooks is on a team right now where it's a bunch of young dudes. There's a lot of what ifs. Yes, we're having success right now at 4-2, but is that sustainable yet? Or do we still need to go through this growth spurt that we're still going through with these young guys before we're going to find this consistency that a veteran like Brandon Cooks would want? And I'm going to use that as a storyline, and I'm going to use that as my reasoning to move on from Brandon Cooks. Okay, so the first player is Davis Mills. Without a doubt, there's no reason for us to keep him. We've got our backup in Minshew. We've got our guy in Gilbert. His contract is up. No point in keeping him whatsoever. So let's find a team that needs a quarterback, whether that be right now or a guy to try to build on for the next year, and see if we can get something in return for him. The first team I can see would be the Denver Broncos. Russell Wilson's 35. Yes, he's still an 85 overall. The Broncos currently have the 6th pick in the draft. Obviously, that's going to change. We don't know what's going to happen the rest of the season. Right now, they're not doing too high. If I was to try and get a 2nd-round pick for Davis Mills, I don't know if by itself that would be... I feel like that's a little one-sided in my direction. I feel like the 2nd-round pick, it's a high second. And while Davis Mills is a younger quarterback and star dev, he's still 75. He hasn't really proven anything in this league. So I feel that even though he hasn't been labeled a complete bust yet because of how horrible the Texans have been, I don't think it's right for us to go after a high 2nd-round pick for him. That just, to me, that's easy way out. I can easily make this trade work. Okay, after looking through the Broncos team and sort of weighing options here, I think the best course of action here is just to do a straight up pick for player. Davis Mills is not an absolute great prospect, right? But he is a young, moldable quarterback. This team needs a quarterback for the future. They currently do not have one. They have a lot of holes still to fill in their linebacking core and on their offensive line. So I don't see a 1st-round pick being the best used on a quarterback. They need help elsewhere. They give us their 3rd-round pick. They still keep their 1st and their 2nd. They get a quarterback that could potentially, at the very least, bridge for the franchise while they find their next guy in a season or two and build him up. And we, of course, get some type of compensation for Davis Mills instead of letting him fall to free agency. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to submit this trade, just their 3rd straight up for Davis Mills, and we'll see if this goes through. And it does go through. I think it's a fair trade. Technically, I probably could have got a 2nd-round pick for him, but I'm just trying to be more realistic with this stuff. I don't want to just fleece the computer because I have all the personnel stuff unlocked and Madden still can't seem to get trades right. So I dropped it down to the 3rd. We still get a decent value 3rd round pick. It'll be a higher 3rd. It won't be a late 3rd. And we get rid of the quarterback that we really didn't have any business keeping anyway. And then for Brandon Cooks, I feel like some of you guys might think I should keep Cooks because we're having success so far in the season, but I'm not hinging on us being contenders yet in this season yet. I mean, hopefully we are, but I don't think that the team has enough in it to continue the winning every week. We're going to start hitting our other division games. The Jaguars are absolutely phenomenal right now, and we've seen ourselves be shaky, right? And you have to ask yourself, if you were Brandon Cooks in this situation, would you want to stay on this team, or would you want to go to a serious contender? And with his contract being up, it makes the most sense. We have so many young guys. I want to see what they bring to the table, and I can't do that while Brandon Cooks is on here taking the number 1 position. I just can't do that. Now, will it backfire? Who knows? But it makes sense that a guy like Cooks would want to leave, and I think the Chiefs fit that mold. They've got an established quarterback, obviously. They've got an established run game. They have good complementary pieces, but they do not have that number 1 receiver. They just don't. Their defense is good. They just need another number 1. This almost replaces, in a way, because obviously nobody is Tyreek Hill, but this replaces that downfield threat that Patrick Mahomes has sort of missed since Tyreek Hill went to Miami. It gives Cooks one last chance to run it up for a playoff push. Yes, it's the AFC. I wish it would be the NFC, but at the very least, we can get a 2nd round pick, a late 2nd at that, probably. And in return, just because it's a 2nd round pick, I'm going to throw in our 5th to make it fair. Again, using the calculator, making sure that things make sense, and this makes sense. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to offer this trade and see if we can get it to go through, and it does go through. So Brandon Cooks and our 5th round pick going to Kansas City in replace for their 2nd round pick, and now our trading has been completed. Okay, so our lineup looks a little bit different now. On offense, it's finally time for Alex Poe to just be one of the starters, and then right behind him we'll have Nico Collins. We'll have a sort of a competition still between Jordan Walker and John Mechie. I haven't seen much out of Mechie, but he hasn't had much playing time. Hopefully now we can work him and Walker into the game plan more so we can see what we have in these guys. We have more clarity at our quarterback position, so that's, obviously a good thing. Anytime you have clarity there, I think Gilbert is going to be fine. We just need to work him through these situations where he's not the best passer, but we'll get there. We will get there. We have a good line. I think we are going to be fine. It sucks that you have to, get rid of guys, but in my mind, if we're not going to keep them, why not get something in return for them? I believe in trading too early rather than not trading at all or trading too late, and that's what sort of came down to it with Brandon Cooks. And now with us trading away 2 players, we have room for 2 more people on the team. There's a whole bunch of people on this thing. I got all the running backs we had before. They're just sitting on the practice squad. We have Anderson, I'm definitely going to bring him up. Gerald Anderson. He is a good overall running back. So yeah, we're going to sign him. And now that leaves one more area for us to bring somebody on. I'm thinking I may do, what about Deshaun Andrews? Decent speed on him. Oh, okay. So he's got some return ability and he's got good change of direction. So I think we're going to elevate him from the practice squad just to be sort of a special teamer for us, potentially a return guy. Okay, and we are now in the prospects pool, and we're going to start off at the left outside linebackers, and we're going to take a look and see what we have. So at first glance, it looks like there is not much available at outside linebacker this year. A lot of day 3 guys, a few middle of the rounds, and then one guy, Mac Lindley, towards the top. He's listed as a run stopper. Lindley, 21, 6 foot, 241. Okay, it says he's very fast, great to elite speed, good to great acceleration. The ones where are B to D, that one is so all over the place yet, so it's tough to even fathom what they're going to be. B, pretty good. D, horrible. So it's up in the air yet, but B, pursuit, that's good to see. F, finesse, so we know he's not going to be a rushing type of outside linebacker. He's going to be more of what we look for, a 4-3 linebacker, which is why you see that his man coverage is a C and his zone could be a B. Greg Newman looks to be a speed rusher. A lot of C's there, but we're not looking at that. That doesn't fit us. Neither does Billy Jansen. 6'1", 230 speed rusher. No, thank you. Bernard Boyd, pass coverage. 3rd and 4th round prospect, 22 years old. He's got A zone, B tackle, A pursuit. Great to elite excel, change of direction, jumping, good to great speed and agility. Okay, so this is definitely going to be more of a pass coverage type linebacker, as you saw by his scheme fit. A pursuit, A man, A zone, B tackle. Good spread on the awareness and catching and hit power. Okay, so Bernard Boyd is definitely somebody we could see about later in the draft if we need some depth. I'm not going to bother with the speed rushers, especially when they're 6 foot, 220 pounds. We don't run a 3-4. Those guys would never be able to put their hand in the dirt. And then getting down to the day 3 guys, Dexter Logan's 23. We don't need linebacker much at all, and definitely not somebody who's already 23 in the back end of the draft. Ryan Carr, another pass coverage guy. He's 22, decent to solid speed. Okay, so definitely not somebody we'd be interested in. William Gutierrez, power rusher, nope. Power rusher, nope. And then we have 2 more down here for pass coverage. Tyreek Tate, 23, no. And then Sean Smith, who is 21, pass coverage, 6'2", 231. Decent to solid speed, that's not good. But does have good coverage stats. Steep play rec, which isn't bad for a day 3 prospect. Not sure what his spread's going to be on his awareness yet, but he's not good at hit power or finesse moves. Impact blocking's probably going to be pretty low, same with power moves. Pursuit looks to be at least mediocre at best. I mean, obviously he could have A pursuit, but I have a feeling it'll be closer to C given his status in the draft. And then we get into the undrafted guys, and I'm not going to be going through all these guys yet. If we end up getting anything else learned about them or any other unlocks, then I'll dig through them a little bit more, but I'm not too concerned. And then going to the top of the middle linebackers, a couple of first round guys, a couple of second, third, fourth, day 3s, and then projected undrafted. So let's see up top here. First guy, Stephen Harmon, 21, 6'2", 247. Solid, good excel, good to great speed. Solid, good change of direction. B-man, B to D zone, A hit power. Decent spread on him. Daniel Bowe, 6'1", 230, 22. Good to great speed, like to see that. A awareness, B block shed, B catching, B tackle, C pursuit. And with the opportunity to also be a good coverage guy. Right now it looks more like a run stopper. Okay, field general as it tells me his thing. Don't know why I tried to guess that. Then going into the second, third round guys, we have Joel Miles out of Wisconsin. There we go. 6 foot, 232. Nothing good though. Nothing good. Yeah. A bunch of D's and C's, so we're just going to move right along. Tucker Carl, he is a second or third round talent, 23 years old. Not a fan, but he's got some really good ratings that I wanted to check out. Great to elite speed, A awareness, B man, A zone, B tackle, B pursuit. So he is definitely somebody that is worth keeping an eye on. Carlos Walker, a lot of C's, a couple of F's and D's, so we're going to just skip right past that. Darvian Chamberlain, F zone, nope. Ladarius Cummings, 6 foot, 239, 22 years old. A lot of not so great spreads that I saw, but let's just see. Okay, so it looks like average at best in most categories. A couple that are below average. It really is going to be dependent on where some of those coverages unlock at. Yeah, and you know, another thing too is we've got such good linebackers right now, especially after bringing in Devin White and Patrick Queen, that chances are we're not going to be messing around with linebackers too much. And almost all of these guys are edge rushers. 6'2", no. Doug Benson, no. We have one run stopper. Down here is Evan Holiday. It is a strong group, though. So we will find out more about these guys. I'm pretty sure I have them saved somewhere as learning more about them. I'm not sure if it's tier 1 or tier 2. Pretty sure it's a tier 1. But we will learn a little bit more about these guys. But they have a really short list. It's very top heavy. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 guys that could potentially go in round 1. And then you have 1, 2, 3 guys for the rest of the draft. And then it's nothing. So it's a very top heavy group, and we'll have to see more about that once we unlock some more. I know we will unlock some more, but right now I'm seeing just a lot of edge rushers, which I'm not too concerned with. Terrell Herring here is a pass coverage guy. We know his man coverage is B, and his zone coverage can be no worse than C. Same with his tackling, so that's a good sign. Could be a potential depth guy later on in the draft. And then there's just another speed rusher. And then Darren Macklin, the last guy here, he is a pass coverage as well. Great to elite in speed and acceleration. A catching. Man and zone can be no worse than C, so that's good to see. B awareness. Play rec, hopefully that's a C, but you never know. So yeah, another couple of decent guys down here between Macklin and Herring possibly for that. I'm curious to see what Hazelton is, if he's got enough skill to be close to pass coverage. And it looks like it's up in the air for man, but at least his zone is A to C, which is a good spread. A tackling, A play rec, A pursuit. Okay, this guy might actually be worthwhile keeping an eye on. Glenn Hazelton. If some of these other ones show to be an A or a B, could end up being a steal. But again, with it being round 1 to 2, chances are probably will not be targeting these kind of guys. But we'll see. You never know what the draft brings. And you got to go with what the draft brings. Because if you're just picking what you need or what you want, and that's not what the draft is offering, you're going to end up with a bad draft. So Philip Donald has been starting since week 1. 1,900 yards, 10 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. Hasn't had the best completion percentage, but he's already unlocked, and he is a superstar development quarterback. Now, I'm not sure when this was unlocked for our guy, but Gilbert is a star quarterback. So right away, Donald being the better quarterback out of the gate with the development. Now, the one thing is he is not somebody that can really run. He's not listed as a scrambler, so he's not going to be the guy that runs at all, which is one of the big selling points is why I wanted Gilbert. As you've seen the last couple of weeks, he's really pushed our offense further because of his legs. But Donald, definitely the more premier passer at this point, and has got a really good trajectory going already because of his superstar status. So we'll see how this plays out, but this is why I thought this would be a good matchup for us, is to see the other quarterback that could have been a Houston Texan that I was considering if I had just been a little bit more up to the fact of giving up some draft capital and moving up in the draft to try and get him. Dalvin Cook doing Dalvin Cook things, almost 5 yards a carry, 7 touchdowns on the year, 430 yards. Adam Thielen surprisingly leading the team in receptions and yards, while Jefferson not far behind, tied for the lead in touchdowns with Landon Tatum. Tatum, the guy they drafted last year, he is going to end up being a stud. He's only normal development, but he's a 76 and 6'4". He's got some decent speed. I think he'll end up being a good piece for him. So, of course, this is a very dangerous wide receiving core. They have Irv Smith still, while not the best tight end, is a very elusive tight end. He's got some good speed to him. Defensively, they look a little different than what, they were at the beginning of this series. Kendricks is still here. Asamoah is getting some playing time now. Zadarius Smith. Lewis Seen back from injury. He is the starting free safety. Dantzler and Booth are now the starting corners. They brought in Juan Thornhill, who I think might be playing at the strong safety position. I'm not 100% sure. But they do have Grant Delpit as well. So it's a little bit different looking defense, but also not that different at the same time. And they haven't been able to apply too much pressure. Smith is tied with Aquara and Tomlinson for 2 sacks, which is the lead. It seems that the simming this year doesn't give many defensive stats, and it's just like How come Madden just cannot get this right? They had defensive stats OP for a while there, and quarterback suffered. I think it was like quarterback rushing suffered, and now the quarterbacks are almost OP in sim, but the defense doesn't record many stats. It's just really weird how they work this stuff, and it makes it hard for guys like me and other guys who do these series to make things as realistic as possible, because things just aren't realistic in a lot of the ways. But again, 2 interceptions for the entire team, really? That just doesn't make sense. And this is what, now the 3rd or 4th team we've looked at this year that doesn't have a single fumble. No forced fumble. It just doesn't make any sense. Obviously, this team has not had much success, 1-6. And so hopefully that continues today. We can get our 5th win. We have another home game. And I don't know if you guys pay attention to when the EA does the updates of Madden, but there was something cool in there for my franchise series, and I'll show you guys what I'm talking about. Got ourselves a tough matchup today going up against Philip Donald. We went over the game last week. Not a great week for him, over 300 yards, 1 touchdown, 2 pick, but look at that. We got ourselves the red collar that I have been asking for on Twitter, asking in EA forums, talking about in my video. It has finally been fixed after like 3 or 4 years. Correct me if I'm wrong, that they have forgotten about the red collar of the home jerseys for the Texans, but it's here now, and I like it. I'm glad to finally have realistic uniforms. As Dylan Gilbert leads us out. First game, getting a chance to see our young receiving core now that Brandon Cooks is gone. Davis Mills is now gone. So now it's really just, how fast can we build this team? It seems as if we've gotten away from a lot of the guys who were here when we first started the series and are really starting to put our footprint down on this franchise. And that is the guy right there, Justin Jefferson, that I am super concerned about. We've been having some issues all season long with like Greedy Williams getting burnt, our safeties not being in the right place. He will feed off of that. Hopefully we can contain him a little bit. It looks like we're going to be starting off on defense too, so we'll get to see right away. Donald and company coming out here, starting off at the 25. Thielen in motion right away, and he's going to hand it off to Cook, who's got a huge lane right up the middle, and he's out to the 40. Thielen in motion again. This time they'll hand it to Thielen as he tries to cut it upfield. He'll get a few yards. You can tell they still are running the O'Connell playbook. Oh, little short pass. Irv Smith makes the catch underneath. Able to turn up field and get themselves another first down and get themselves into our territory. They go right back to Dalvin with another nice lane, and he's down to the 41. The running game is something we definitely have to worry about today. I didn't mention it too much, but Cook is always dangerous. Play action, roll out, Donald, quick throw, and he finds Thielen in a beautiful little crease in between our defenders. Great throw, great catch, and a big play for Minnesota down to the 25. Gotta tell you, this feels a little weird cheering against my Vikings. First time I've ever played them in one of my franchise series here without being them. As he'll throw it inside, and oh wow, nice play there. Coverage was tight on Justin Jefferson. It will force an incompletion. I'll throw it again. Donald under pressure, has to get rid of it quickly. Dalvin Cook breaking free from Bonner, and White finally pushes him out of bounds after just a yard. 3rd and 9, a chance here to get off the field and force a field goal. But we know they can throw it on us. They've done it a few times on this drive. Donald under pressure, dumps it off again, and we stay home and will force the field goal. Nice job. Defense bent a little bit, but they finally shut it down after a few plays, I should say. And now it's time for Dylan Gilbert. 7 touchdowns, 6 interceptions. All of those interceptions coming in 2 bad games. Other than that, he's played pretty good. And obviously we're going to still go through those growing pains like I mentioned earlier in the video, but we can't expect him to get better if we don't let him make mistakes and learn from those mistakes. So here we go, 1st and 10. We're going to start off in single back. Sweet going to take the handoff up the middle, and he'll get a nice little crease out to the 29. Decent pickup of 4, and we're going to go straight to the empty set. Gilbert going to throw. Quick throw over the middle, wide open. Walsh out across the 45 near midfield. And we'll move the chains now for another first down. Gilbert, another throw. Quick throw outside. He's got Collins. There's a flag down, and I have a feeling it's going to be holding. It came out pretty quickly. Yep. Oh, man, that really sucks. That really sucks. Jenkins with the hold. That was a big pass, too. And now we find ourselves set 1st and 20. Empty backfield once again. Gilbert, quick drop. Steps up, fires. Almost throws an interception. Looking for Pierce. Luckily for us, it was Danielle Hunter in coverage, and he is not known to be a pass coverage guy, so anybody else that might have gone 6 the other way. Short throw, and it's caught. Poe gets it back out to midfield, and a much more manageable 3rd and 8 for us now. Gilbert on 3rd down, steps up, he's got to run it. He's got enough room to get the first, breaks free from 1, and finally shoved down at the 30, a big run. I love seeing him run and break tackles, but every time he gets touched by another player, I just wince because I know that eventually that fumble is going to come as Pierce takes it up the middle for 7. So what I did with his last update is I actually reset the sliders back to pretty much default. The only thing I adjusted was I turned the illegal touching, I think it was, yeah, off, and the intentional grounding. That's the one. I turned those both off as we fail there and have to kick a field goal. But yeah, I turned those both off, but everything else is default except run blocking. I've moved that to 55, and there it is, up and good. We'll tie it up at 3. And so far, I like what I've seen. I tested a game on default run blocking, and it just seemed like there was never any lanes, and now I'm almost second-guessing my decision as Dalvin Cook just will not go down. Wow, a huge run. Darisaw is hurt, the left tackle, but the Vikings start with a huge run all the way down to the 35. And wow, I had it on 65 before the update. And that's part of the thing I hate about these updates is they'll tell you they fixed like 2 things, but then 17 things are different in the sliders category. Like, it's really weird. I hate it. But now I'm wondering if I might have to bring the run blocking back down as Cook with another big lane up the middle. 4 carries, 68 yards already. 3rd and 2. Gotta expect the run here, I would think. Yep, running up the middle, and defense didn't expect it. I did. Another first down for Minnesota, driving with ease on this drive. Another handoff. Cook able to squeeze through and inside the 20. Well, thank God they're going to throw it. Didn't think I'd be saying that, but Donald in the empty set throws it short, and Cook's still making us pay for it, this time in the passing game, as he'll get down to the 10. Stay in the empty set. Cook split right there in the sort of like where the tight end stands. And now Jefferson is in motion. It's a pitch to Cook, and we read that like a book. Big play in the backfield. Stingley came up. Greenlaw came up. Credit will go to Stingley, and we'll force him back to the 12. And they're going to go back to, well, this is a little bit different, but sort of the same idea here. 2nd and goal. Donald going to throw it. Short throw outside to Irv Smith, and Smith is brought down at the 9. 3rd and goal. They need a touchdown. Donald scrambling, and he's going to go down. Jonathan Grenard with another one. First of the day, but this season he has been having a heck of a start as he'll get us to 4th and goal, and that should wrap up the first quarter. The last drive out, our defense was not able to hold them. They were able to get into field goal range. This time they're going to start with a big throw to Tatum, and he'll get immediately out to the 41, working against King in the slot. Single back look. Donald lets it go quickly, and again they get it outside. This time, though, it's to Jefferson. And yes, it'll end up getting another first down. A gain of 10. Already in Texans territory. Stretch play. Cook does a beautiful job cutting it back inside and finds a little lane there for 6 yards. He's already closing in on a 100-yard performance. That is insane. Play action. Donald quickly over the middle, and he's off target. Thank the Lord he was off target because it looked like the receiver was open. I didn't catch who it was. I think it might have been Tatum. Quick drop, quick throw, wide open. Thielen slips through the tackle, and he's gone for the touchdown. The Vikings offense is starting to run it up already. All right, now down by 10. We need this offense to step up here. We're going to go handoff, and there is just nothing there. Kendricks came right through the hole. Not looking too good. 2nd and 13. Here we go. Play action. And Gilbert's going to run with it. Gilbert's got a little bit of room, and he's able to get out to the 30, make that to 29, and at least put us in a lot more manageable here 3rd down. We're going to go back to that 5-wide look. Walsh in the slot to the left. Gilbert dropping back. He's got time, fires, and he's got Poe open across the 45. Beautiful play. Let's see if we can sort of put together something here. Gilbert going to take off with it again. Gets away from one defender, and instead of running upfield, he runs straight into the defender for 2 yards. Man, that's got to get fixed. 2nd and 8. He had a 1st down there. Short throw inside. Walker makes the catch, and he's going to be tackled just short of the 1st. Going to be 3rd and 1. Sweet in the backfield. We're going to pass it, though. Over the middle, and it is caught. Another one. This one to John Mechie. I formation here. Expecting a run. Yep, that's what we get. And Sweet trying to go through the traffic. He'll still find a room for 5. Nice run on 1st. Pierce checks in. Let's see if we go back to the run now. No, we will go back to the air. Gilbert, quick throw. Slayton open on the slant, and he's down inside the 20. Offense starting to put something together here. Can we finish it off with a touchdown to keep pace with this Vikings offense? O in motion, fake it to him, hand it off to Sweet, and Sweet down to the 11. We're going to go right back to the ground. Sweet again trying to push his way forward, but he's stopped short of the 1st. 3rd and 1, offset I. Have a feeling we're going to go right back to him here. No, another throw. I'm just guessing horribly right now. And now I wish we would have, because Gilbert just ran into the blitzing defender. Awesome job. I don't know where he thought he was going to go. He had a quicker route to the end zone right up the middle of the field, and instead ran around the blocks that he had, took away all the leverage of the linemen, and will force us to kick a field goal. Here we go to kick things off in the 2nd half. And that last drive, man, I really thought I didn't show it, but we had an opportunity before halftime to really put together something and potentially tie this thing up, or at least kick another field goal. And Gilbert just aired the thing out 3 times in a row. It was a very weird play call there. Oh, and there goes Sweet up the middle. A nice run, gain of 9. But it ended up in nothing. So we'll start things here. Also, I forgot to mention, I did change the quarters as well, if you haven't noticed already. But I did go back to the 13 minutes and 15-second runoff. Somebody mentioned in the comments, and I remember that I tested it out earlier in the series, and I did like it. It did seem to make things a little bit better, so I figured I'd give it another shot. As Gilbert takes off, he's got some room. The 50, 40, 30, it's a foot race, finally dragged down by a whole gang of Vikings. But not before he gets it down to the 30-yard line. A huge, huge play. And that is why I say it every time he does it, you draft a scrambling quarterback. Because when everything else fails, you have something you can look at. As Sweet, I don't know what kind of juke he tried to do there, but it did not work at all. 2nd and 10. Yeah, play action. Gilbert tossing it deep, and he overshoots him again. He did that on the last drive too, just overthrowing these receivers that are open downfield. As he takes another shot, this time though he finds it, and it's Alex Poe down to the 3-yard line. Beautiful job there, Gilbert, not afraid to go right back to it and try to correct himself, and he does there. A great throw by Poe, or by Gilbert, a great catch by Poe. Staying in bounds to get the catch, and now it's 1st and goal from the 3. We have a chance to tie this thing back up. We just have to put together a good couple of plays here. Handoff to Sweet, and Sweet is stopped at the 1. I thought that was going to be open enough, but that Vikings defense closed that gap up really quickly. And now it looks like the Vikings are calling an audible. We're going to throw it, and we got a touchdown. Leo Walsh right over the middle, and we will tie this thing up on the opening drive. And look at that, Donald learning from Kirk Cousins. say what you want about Cousins, but you know what? I think he is a dang good quarterback. I really do. Sometimes I think that there's circumstances that play against him that make it seem like he's the issue, but watching actual Vikings football this year, you can see that Cousins has a little bit of grit to him, and definitely somebody that is worthy of learning from, as you see Donald there before the drive starting. Donald now drops back, 2nd and 8, and he's looking for a shot. He's got it. Irv Smith wide open, breaking free, still trying to break free, and will finally bring him down. These big plays that are just gouging us are setting the Vikings up every time. I don't know what Devin White is looking at there. Him and Greenlaw are both just sitting there playing patty cake together. I don't know. I mean, somebody could have dropped back a little bit. It just, man, 1st and 10. That could have been avoided. Now Donald looking again. He's got to dump it down. I thought he was going deep for a second, but he ends up throwing it short to Dalvin Cook, who loses 2 on the play. It was a good job by Greedy Williams to come up and make the open field tackle against Cook. He is not an easy person to bring down. And now they're going to go back to the air. Donald, quick throw, overshoots Irv Smith. That's a big break for us there. 3rd and 12. Let's see if we can put him into a tough situation here. Donald, quick throw over the middle, and no, we just let him sit wide open over the middle. Not a soul in the middle again. I don't know. I mean, I guess there's nothing I can really do about that. And that's very obviously just a Madden issue. You know, we have one of the best middle linebackers in the game. You know, I can't make them play where they're supposed to. It's one thing if we had a rookie sitting there or a low overall, but we have Devin frickin' White playing there. It's something in the coding that's causing it. So I'm going to try not to point it out too much because, like I said, it's... Oh, there we go. There we go. A big play from the defense. Stripped it out, and Desmond King picks it up. But, yeah, so like I was saying, I'm just gonna let it go because I can't control it. But I saw there, and that's what I'm talking about. Devin White punching that ball out, and Desmond King recovers it, and now we're going to get a chance to potentially put up some more points and take the lead for the first time. All tied up here midway through the 3rd. Gilbert gonna play action on 1st down. Gilbert looking, takes a shot, and he's got Poe again. Another 20 yards. Big pickup. Poe really starting to make some plays. 4 catches, 77 yards, showing that he is #1 material. Working on a comeback route there against Dantzler. Quick drop back. Gilbert underneath to Collins, and Collins up to the 45. And I can't remember who said it, but somebody did make a comment about Collins earning another contract. You're absolutely right. You are absolutely correct. Uh-oh. Daniil Hunter causing some problems for us there. At least he got rid of it. Keeps it 3rd and 2 instead of 3rd and 8. But, yeah, you're absolutely correct. And I will definitely be offering him a contract. Here we go. We're going to throw it on 3rd down, and we open up the middle of the field for none other than Nico Collins, and he'll get down to the 40. I thought about it for a little bit, you know, but after reading that message and then looking back and seeing what he's been able to do for us, I definitely see your point. We'll have a whole bunch of tall receivers. Collins, Walker. Oh, he's 6'2". He's decently tall. As Gilbert throws it short, Walsh makes the catch, and he's down to the 35. Here we go on 3rd down. A quick throw to Walsh again, who makes the catch, and he holds on to it. They were trying to get that thing out of there, but he will hold on and will get the 1st down. And now we just got to be smart here. Maybe try and get the ground game going here. Or not. Or not. Yeah, oh, Gilbert just chucking this thing. Yeah, I knew that wasn't going to get caught. Looking for Jordan Walker, he was double covered in the back of the end zone. He would have came down with that. I would have started him tomorrow. 2nd and 10. Gilbert. Another throw to Walsh and another catch. Man, every time Walsh gets the ball, they have like 3 dudes hit him. My gosh. 3rd and 6. Gilbert. Another throw. This time it's Slayton, and another 1st down. That was a beautiful throw, by the way. The out route, he puts it right where only Slayton can get it. And Slayton also doing a good job of running the right depth to make sure we get the 1st down, and then dragging the feet as well. Excellent execution there. That's going to set us up with another first down here. We can get one more first down, which is something I like to see. I hate when we get down here and you get the first at the 10, and sweet, up the middle down to the 9. And then you have to go 10 yards and no first down available for you. I don't know, maybe that's just me. 2nd and 5. Throw it outside, and that was a bad throw. Yeah, that was a bad throw. That was covered from the start. And luckily for us, the corner was not in the position to make a play. Blitz is coming. We pick it up, and that one works. Slayton was left alone on the little dig route, and we'll get another touchdown and take the lead for the first time with just over a minute left in this third quarter. And out comes Donald. This rookie quarterback battle, I think, has gone pretty well. It's been a really back-and-forth game. Both offenses being able to showcase what their capabilities are. One team has had the advantage of the run, though, a little bit more, and that has been the Vikings. They've gone away from it, though, here in the second half and have been primarily throwing the ball. As you can see, Donald already up to 27 attempts. I mean, it's been working, but I'm a little concerned that eventually we're going to start seeing Dalvin Cook again. Actually, I'm almost welcoming it at this point. My gosh, we are just getting killed over the middle, but so are the Vikings. And like I said, the last defensive drive out is, I mean, this is just a Madden thing, you know. Like, I gotta stop getting hung up on it because nothing I can do is gonna fix it. I can't change the coding, unfortunately. And there's another big throw over the middle. And I know there's PC options, but I like the current version. I don't like last gen. Oh, we get an interception. He chucked it up, and Stingley makes him pay for it. He was looking for Jefferson. He had one of those screw it, he's down there somewhere moments. And Stingley takes the opportunity to create a turnover here in the fourth. Big play there. He was getting pressure. Blacklock back from injury. He was breathing down his neck, and he forced an off-kilter throw from the rookie. And that is why rookies are very difficult, because you never know when they're going to become a rookie. And Donald, he did that just there. Now let's see if Gilbert can lead us down for another score. He's going to take a big drop back on first down, fires it over the middle. He's got Slayton, and Slayton's got a first. And we'll go back to the ground, and there is nothing there. Tried the stretch play. Hunter read that very easily, which doesn't surprise me. But now we find ourselves in 2nd and 12. I don't really like the stretch play, but sometimes it works, and I don't want to just have the same kind of running in every running play we have. There's another big throw to Alex Poe. That's got to put him at 100, right? I believe that, 3 yards short. We got to get him 100 yards. Come on, Gilbert, find him another time. Gilbert throwing, and there he does. He throws it to Poe, and Poe is brought down inside at the 20. And that will give him that 100-yard performance. Is that his first 100-yard performance? I'm trying to think. I think it might be. 2nd and 4. I formation. Jordan in motion. Sweet in the backfield. Hand it off. And, wow. Jenkins, I mean, he had a chance to block one of them, and he didn't block either of them. And now it's 3rd and 4. And we're going to throw it. And Gilbert's going to run it. Gilbert's got the first, juking Cam Dantzler, and he's out of bounds at the 13. That was different. 1st and 10. Empty backfield. This is interesting. Down to the 13. Gilbert's going to take off with it, and he's very smart decision to slide instead of taking on Eric Kendricks. And it's 2nd and 3. And Sweet takes the handoff up the middle, trying to push his way through. But how is he still on his feet? What in the world was that? Well, he's still on his feet, and we'll get the first down. And then Sweet is gonna, oh man, I thought he was in, but he stopped at the 1, and I feel like we're gonna go right back to him, and this is where it's almost impossible to run the ball. Yep, we're running off that right side again. Yep, and it's red immediately. Wow. I just saw that coming. Oh, and now Jordan's hurt. Yeah, not a good I don't like running down there because it's just so damn hard. Gilbert over the middle, and that one's a touchdown, and it's Collins for another score. Just a simple spot route, and Hunter, who was out in coverage, sort of abandons his post. And we're going to get ourselves a 14-point lead with this extra point here with 7 minutes left. Donald has got to throw it. And he's not going to get rid of it in time. And luckily for him, Dalvin Cook is able to fall on it, which will give him one more opportunity here to put points on the board. 4th and goal. Quick throw. He's got Jefferson, and he broke it up. Derek Stingley coming through in the clutch and breaking up a pass that should have been caught. I can't believe that he was able to break that pass up. Jefferson is frustrated. I would be too. And we get a huge, huge play from our young corner. And that's pretty much all she wrote. I mean, if there was one score, yeah, but 2 scores, I don't think so. And it'll be a quick handoff to Sweet. And Minnesota will call their first time out. And at this point, yeah, we're just going to run this thing out. Another handoff to Sweet. And they tried to rip that one out. And that's going to bring us on to the victory formation. What a way to start this season. I mean, 5-2. I would not have thought that that was going to be the case when I decided to start the rookie. And all the changes we've made, all the young people we have brought on. I really thought we would end up having a year or two similar to last year and the year before, where maybe we're putting together some wins, but not enough to make any noise. But now 5-2. Next week we're going to be taking on the Jaguars, who are currently 1 game ahead of us. And if we can win that one, we are officially the division leaders. Well, we have ourselves a nice chunk of upgrades after that one. First one, Garrison Cunningham. And we are going to do... let's try to do some run stopper. Get that up there a little bit. He's really low on that one. And then we have 3 starters. Greedy Williams. We are going to go... We're going to go slot for him. Oh, well, look at that. He jumped up 2. 3 awareness, 2-man, 1 press, and 1 zone. And then Jonathan Grenard. He's been having a really good year. He really has. We're going to keep going with the speed rusher. And that's also going to give him one of those bonuses to make him up to an 83 right now. 2 finesse, 1 play rec, and 1 tackle. And then last but not least, Devin White. Devin White. I'm curious to see... Okay, I think what we need to do is we need to start working on his coverage ability. Yeah, we're going to do pass coverage for him. There we go. 2 to each coverage and 1 agility. Good upgrade. Guys, we got to week 9, and look who took another loss. The Jaguars took a loss last week, and now we are technically the leaders in the AFC South. And we have a chance to play them in next episode, and if we can beat them, we would put ourselves 2 games up in the division on Jacksonville. Plus, we have a breakout scenario. Looks like a defensive back. It's got to be Stingley, right? There's no other option. No, it's Greedy Williams. Hold the Jaguars to less than 150 passing yards, or get Greedy Williams 2 interceptions, 2 forced fumbles, 2 tackles for loss, or 2 sacks. Oh boy, I do not know if that is going to be possible. 150 yards passing? What is this, 1999? Well, that's what we're going to have to do on the next episode. We're going to have to try and do that. If we can make that work, we could have ourselves an excellent corner tandem now with Stingley and Williams. Yeah, so Williams is already star. If we somehow find a way to make that work, we would have more than, 60% of our defense be superstar players. We would have 2 of them at corner, 1 at safety, 2 at linebacker, 2 on the defensive line. This is just turning into such an awesome rebuild. So that is our goal for next episode. And then also next episode, we'll be going over some more of the players ready to negotiate, see if there's a couple more guys that come through. And then also our last spot for our first wave of the college players is the secondary, and that will be on next episode. I appreciate you guys so much for watching. Please make sure you drop a like if you like what you saw. Drop that sub if you want to see more. And let me know down below what you think of our running game right now. Do we have to turn back to Pierce? Is it the offensive line? Is it the slider? Let me know, and I'll see you guys next time.